Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's actually May. I missed all the it's gonna be May memes. I did not do enough of them. I love it. I love the it's gonna be May. It is gonna be May. It's here. It's happening. It's May 2nd. It's Taurus season. It's the week of my husband and my birthday. So it is a whole week. It was just Rob from Law and Lumber's birthday. We have a whole situation going on today. We're going to be talking about the Idaho University murders. We have an updated hearing. We're going to talk about what that is. We're going to talk about what's going on, why that hearing is happening, because everybody's like, oh, there's a hearing at the end of the month. Yes, there is on Dave Matthews Day. Yeah, there's a hearing at the end of the month. But we're going to talk about what that is. We're going to talk about the new news with Gwyneth Paltrow's case. And then we're going to go over some stuff that happened on Twitter last night because it made me giggle and I want to. So we're also going to go over a few things that are legally adjacent today. And if we have time and you care, maybe we'll talk about Elizabeth Holmes. I haven't decided yet. I'm still undecided. Maybe we'll talk Elizabeth Holmes. Maybe we won't. But that's what's going on today. Tomorrow on the podcast, I am talking about Coach Monica from Cheer and the civil lawsuit against her, Navarro College, and others. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to be covering it tomorrow. So that's what we're doing tomorrow, Thursday. I think, unless something else happens, we got a bunch of Murdaugh stuff to talk about and some more. So we've got a full week, and then I'm off for the weekend. I am out for the weekend. I know. Taylor Swift crashed my birthday weekend in Nashville. I don't know. It's going to be hard to do just about anything this weekend in Nashville because T Swift is there. We're going to talk about all the things that have happened on Twitter just real quick. I hate being like, oh, we're going to talk about what's happening on Twitter, but some funny stuff happened on Twitter, and this is why people are still on Twitter, because stuff still happens on Twitter. So we're going to talk about it so you don't have to be on Twitter. Maybe you can see, I don't know if I have the energy to go see Taylor Swift. Like, I would love to see Taylor Swift in concert. I think that would be fantastic. But also, I have to then like Uber or drive and park, and there's like a lot of people, and getting in and out of the stadium for a concert can take hours. Like, I don't know how badly I want it, and I don't know if I want it that bad. Like, I don't know if I want it that bad. So, yes, we have a bit of a side part going. Look, it's less of a side part, but with the curls, the side part just felt right today. So we're going to be going back and forth between the two parts. I'm going to keep you guessing. We're going to keep changing up the hair all the time. There we go. And then it's going to be like, oh, what day is it? Because I'm so used to seeing myself with a side part. And with the curl, we had to go with a little bit of a side part. So it's less of a side part. It's inching its way towards the middle. So some days middle, some days not. So I just don't know what I want to do. I just don't know what I want to do with Taylor Swift this weekend, but the tickets are so expensive, y'all. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that this tour. Maybe next tour. I've got a lot of concerts coming up. I mean, they're all Dave Matthews, but I have a lot of concerts coming up at the end of this month and beginning of next month. So there's a part of me that just wants to have like a mellow dinner, like not in downtown Nashville with the hubs, because everyone's going to be downtown and just not go downtown. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So with all of that, y'all, we should get going and talk about all the thing. So let us go. Oh, to all of you that gifted memberships, thank you so much. I saw them from Cindy Y and B2. B2, I think you gift memberships at the beginning of every stream. Thank you so much. We're going to have more members only stuff this month and some members only announcements this month that the members get first. If you want to stay in the loop for everything else, make sure that you're on Law Nerd Alert. I'm just going to put up a quick reminder because I haven't mentioned it in a while. When we cover live trials, this is super helpful, but we're also working on some other notification systems. So if you want to be the first to know about all of that, let me know. And then we'll talk about other things. Like we'll just talk about other things today. We got lots to do. So the mods share with y'all how to turn on gifted memberships. So if you have not done that, the mods will share that with you. It goes through, I think Nightbot also shares it. And if you sign up for lawnerdalert.com, it probably shouldn't crash today like we've crashed it so many times before, but it'll keep you in the loop in all the things, and you will be kept well in the loop because we are going to be phasing out the text crew. I know We're going to be replacing it, but we're going to be phasing out the text crew. So with all of that, I saw a question from Red Knight, I think, in the chat saying, do gifted memberships apply to existing members? No, they don't. They apply to anyone who has membership gifting turned on, and that's what it is. So with that, we're gonna roll the intro. We're gonna do some quick bits. I don't know if it's quick bits today or if it's just like Twitter laughs, like the lols, but that's what we're gonna do. So we should get started.
Hey there, I'm Emily D. Baker, the internet's go-to legal analyst, breaking down the legal side of the pop culture and entertainment stories we can't stop talking about. I'm a big fan of the cursey words. I've been a licensed attorney for over 17 years, but this is not legal advice. This is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not... Let's get into it.
I know, I feel like we kind of need a quick bits because these are our quick bits, but it's also kind of like Twitter's got a Twitter. But I don't focus on Twitter much. This, I got tagged in so much that I had to talk about it with y'all because I got tagged in this particular thing on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. It got sent to me in my email. The law nerds were on it. I would not have seen this without you. So the law nerds were like, Emily, you must. And that's true because it harkens back to one of my favorite cases of all time. Do you guys know what my favorite case of all time is? Chat, let me know. Chat, let me know if you know my favorite case of all time. This harkens back to one of my favorite cases of all time. So we're going to get into that right now. Quick bits. Y'all are right. The caterpillars. So for those of you that are new, there's a caterpillar back here there's a caterpillar peeking in there. Colin and Cuthbert are my favorite. For the newer law nerds, I'm going to give you a road so far on Colin and Cuthbert. Colin and Cuthbert are caterpillar cakes from the UK. The caterpillar cakes from the UK are a celebratory cake. So many of you from the UK were like, these were the cake growing up. Like these were the birthday cakes. So these were one of the first food wars that I covered, and I was delighted by it. I need to go to the UK again. I've missed being in London. I was supposed to go, and then a pandemic happened, and then we haven't rescheduled, but I was supposed to go. And I need to go just to do like a taste testing of the birthday cakes. But these were like the birthday cake. And so M&S has the birthday cake. It's like the bougier version is my understanding of the cake. Aldi does Aldi and knocks off the cake. Everybody else has versions of the caterpillar cake. Well, M&S sued Aldi over the cake. Well, over the trade dress of the cake. And Aldi took to social media and was like, haha, we are going to talk all about this lawsuit. The suit resolved. The Aldi cakes came off the shelves for a period of time. I think their packaging changed and are back being sold again. And now, the cakes have been released with little crowns ahead of the coronation later this week. And so Aldi is still poking fun at the Colin Cuthbert row of the cases or of the caterpillar cake kerfuffle. If you have not seen that video, I will find it and link it in the description. To be truthful, the mods will find it for me and then we will link it. Thank you, mods. You're amazing. And they will link it down below. But Aldi took to social media in a way that worked very successfully for them as a company. Not all companies can do that. I saw Katrina Lynn in the chat said, M&S is just mad Aldi has better Twitter people. Whoever works for Aldi's Twitter needs all of the raises. Just all of the raises, all of them. Aldi, by the way, is now selling all-dressed chips in the US. So Aldi, if you can bring us the Canadian chips of joy, can you also bring us the caterpillar cakes? We desire them. Bring us the caterpillar. We need the caterpillar cakes. We need the caterpillar cakes. So with all of that, the ongoing caterpillar cake wars was just such a delight because it was so funny. And at the end of the day, it is a knockoff cake. And Aldi made so much fun of it. It ended up being in some of their Christmas and holiday marketing. Aldi's been sued over other knockoff products. We know this is exactly what Aldi does, is they knock off products. So with that, we need to take a look at what Aldi UK has posted on their Twitter. But first, I need to tell you a quick story. So I was hanging out with Law and Lumber. Yes, sorry, I was getting into a story. No, Aldi all dress chips in the US have been confirmed in like multiple states in the chat. People have found them all over the place. So yes, I have not found them in Middle Tennessee, but I have not looked yet. I'm going to. So I was at friends of mine were in town for a business conference and they had a massive Airbnb. So their families were here. I took my family up and we were hanging out. So my friend Amy's husband was looking at like, who do you follow on Twitter? And was like, wait, why do you follow Aldi UK? And I was like, I'm so glad you asked. And I probably talked for 15 minutes about caterpillar cakes because when I tell you that this lawsuit brought me joy, it brought me unending amounts of joy because of Aldi's PR team's Twitter sass. Normally, I would say, hey, if you're in litigation, don't talk about litigation unless you are Aldi's Twitter team. Aldi's Twitter team had it absolutely nailed. They read the room. They understood the assignment. They left no crumbs. So with all of that, now we are going to get to Emily, share your screen because we're professionals here. Now we're going to get to this delight because we can't not. And then we'll get to other Twitter shenanigans in just a moment. So everyone who tagged me in this, you are the real heroes. You are the champions. I need to I never make me smaller, but this needs to happen in this instance. You are the champions. This is delightful. Let me make sure the volume is on. And we need to just take a look at this ad from Aldi. You can see the delightful little caterpillar cakes. Oh, I love this so much.
We like this chocolate caterpillar cake, don't we, Wiggles?
We do, Cuthbert. We do.
And we like this one, don't
So Wiggles is one of the other outlets' cakes. So the names of all the caterpillars are actually caterpillar cakes from other retailers. So you can see Cuthbert is with the eyes, right?
we, Morris?
Oh, yes, Cuthbert. Yes. Oh, no. Look who's here.
He's coming over.
All right, Cuthbert.
Colin.
Cake, anyone?
Find the cake! Find the cake! Get up!
We like
Cuthbert versus Colin lives on. The fact that I think these are supposed to be legs at the bottom of the caterpillar, the fact that he grabs his legs is just absolutely
like this
freaking
chocolate
delightful.
caterpillar cake,
And
don't
I
we,
love that they
Wiggles?
say like M&S, only cheaper.
We do.
They've just
And we like
leaned all
this
the way
one,
in.
don't we, Morris?
Yes, we're
Oh,
watching
yes,
it again
Cuthbert.
because he
Yes.
just,
Oh, no. Look who's here.
and then I'll stop, I promise.
He's coming over.
Also, they're caterpillars eating caterpillar cake. What is happening? Oh, those aren't the legs. The legs are down here. Okay, I missed it. I missed it.
All right, Cuthbert.
Colin.
Cake, anyone?
Find the cake! Find the cake! Get up! Get up!
We like this chocolate caterpillar.
Look, here's the thing. It's just they have made everything out of this lawsuit and been able to continue to lead in to how funny it is. However, this is a series and we're not done because after the initial altercation, Cecil just WhatsApped us this Cuth party. And this seems to be Colin hurling cake. So we need to go to the statements of the parties involved. Cecil, by the way, is a caterpillar from a different retailer. So let's go see what Colin has to say after this party, shall we?
I'm not proud. I'm not proud of what happened in there. It was. I shouldn't have come. I shouldn't have come. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of what happened.
I mean, when you show up at a house party where you're not wanted, Sometimes things go badly. Never mess with another bug's cake straight from the larva's mouth. Look, whoever is doing marketing for Aldi, do all of it. Do all of the marketing for everything, please. Because I am delighted. I'm delighted. I'm delighted. Rarely am I delighted this much by marketing, but I am. Straight from the larva's mouth. Never mess with another bug's cake. Hashtag Cuthparty. Cuthbert's unofficial statement. We need to know what Cuthbert's statement is. Hold on. Cuthbert was on the...
Voicemail. I would like to make amends, I really would, because we used to spend so much time together. Well, I don't know how to use a telephone, but if someone could show me, then I'd happily speak to him, yeah?
I don't know how to use a telephone.
Voicemail. Just as I predicted. Oh, bless him. I would like to make amends, I really would.
Is this the British bless your heart? Is this the bless your heart? Bless him? I feel like it is. All right, we need to see what else happens. So Cuthbert's unofficial statement after the Cuth party. Other caterpillars are yet to comment. And then they tagged all of the different retailers that also have caterpillar cakes. You're like, it is. Okay, good. I love British. I love some dry British humor. And bless him feels like a bless your heart. It's just too funny. All right. Where I thought we had crowned cakes down here somewhere, but maybe those were actually the M&S cakes. Caterpillars only, sorry. Waitrose said, wait, anyone fancy coming around for some cake tomorrow? Tesco, Morrison's, Asda, Sainsbury's, Waitrose, on and on. Waitrose says, we'll be there as long as we can bring Jewel the Jack Russell to make the party absolutely pawsome. And Aldi said, caterpillars only, sorry. Woke up and chose chocolate cake, Cuth party. We'll be serving cake at midday, Cuth party. Like the marketing push on this was absolutely brilliant. But I think there are the crowned cakes. So if you wanted to see the crowned caterpillar cakes, this is M&S's. I didn't realize that Aldi had retweeted it. This is M&S's ad, and Aldi said cancel the crowns. It's just. I think they were trying to fit. I think Waitrose was trying to fit in. I think they were like, we'll bring the puppies, and so there is a celebration coronation cake. Here's what's disturbing to me in this advertisement. We've got Colin, Colin. And then this is his, those are his legs. Like it's just too funny. So Colin and Cuthbert, long live the feud between M&S and Aldi. And I think Aldi's social media team and advertising has been absolutely brilliant. The little ones look like caterpillar cannoli. They do. They're like a chocolate cake with frosting in the middle. I have heard the cakes are good. There's a YouTube video where people try all the different caterpillar cakes in the UK. So you can go find them and they are good. Mini roll. Aldi are not royalists. Apparently they're making that statement, it seems. I think the coronation cakes are adorable. But of course that's what's going to happen. So then it's back to normal Aldi Twitter stuff. But Aldi has not stopped the Colin Cuthbert cake marketing. And every time it comes up, I'm delighted. Look, they said they were going to use this to raise money. They had slapped out at M&S and said, hey, instead of paying for lawyers, why don't we raise some money for our charity? So they ran the London Marathon dressed as the caterpillar. I mean, that takes some dedication. That seems really difficult. So I'm here for it. And Aldi, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So I think cancel the crown is a joke. It probably is a joke, but how do you have a caterpillar running the London Marathon, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, and I'm here for the Capture Cuthbert to win. Watching the London Marathon tomorrow, keep your eyes peeled for a caterpillar and you can win a $100 Aldi voucher. Get your camera ready to catch Cuthbert and post them with the hashtag Capture Cuthbert. So this explains the QR codes. It's so smart. It's just I don't have other words because I think the marketing is hilarious. What? To celebrate the coronation, we're pleased to release the official portrait of King Kevin. Plush toys of his likeness are now available. He's a carrot. I can't just keep scrolling Twitter. We have to get into law stuff. But I'm delighted, as you can tell. Uh-oh. Can we put you in charge of getting our next concert tickets? Prime Tracker Aldi UK, nice lineup today at Throne. Why? My kid was telling me that Prime is ridiculously difficult to get in the UK. And my question was, why? Just why? All right. With all of that, we need to move on to other. There's lots of them talking about Prime on this one. Oh, God. You make one dodgy looking marshmallow. What is happening? What is this? That ain't a bunny. Oh my God, the bunny marshmallows. I didn't think this was going this direction today. I don't know who made the puzzle from the bunny marshmallows, but apparently the bunny marshmallows don't look like a bunny. I love that. I love that they shared it on their Twitter. Oh, that's too funny. I didn't think we'd end up there today. I mean, after Ian's stream last night, maybe I should realize that everything is just going to come back to this. But they're bunny gummies. Apparently, it's a giant bunny gummy. Yeah. Oh, Aldi. All right. Well, we're gonna stop scrolling Aldi's Twitter. I like that they're still using Free Cuthbert as a hashtag. I love it so much. Look, I love it so much. We're calling it a night. Free Cuthbert round 2. This was from December 2021. And I wonder if under the Free Cuthbert tag, oh gosh, I show up under the Free Cuthbert tag. Wait, where did these tweets go? I wonder if the other tweets about, there it is. The other Aldi tweets would show up. Packaging update, hashtag Free Cuthbert. This is when they turned the packaging into jail bars and said serves 12 years because Colin was coming for them. It's just too funny. So other people have the screenshots of them. I wonder if Aldi took them off of their social media. I'm not sure. When discussing the Free Cuthbert movement in a recent Lunch and Learn, we noticed how good communications and owning the narrative can work in your favor. And of course, we had to buy a caterpillar cake from each supermarket so we could investigate the differences. This is the best Lunch and Learns ever. Good job, Definition Communications. This is obviously the only choice is to get a Colin and a Cuthbert and a Morris and all the rest of them. You have to try all the cakes, I think. This one doesn't, I know. This one doesn't look like a caterpillar. He's got little shoes on, but I think that's brilliant because this case actually was worth talking about. And oh dear, M&S, we couldn't get a hold of Free Cuthbert, so we decided to do what us Scottish people do best and deep fry Colin instead. What do you think? Why did they deep fry Colin? Pure Radio, what is happening? Crew assembled. Okay, Colin, we need answers. Those are all the other caterpillar cakes. It's really just too funny. So if you happen to go out and get a caterpillar cake, go ahead and tag me in it. Precious cargo on board. Back Free Cuthbert to Aldi UK because this is when Cuthbert came back. I'm back for a good cause. Because the packaging is changed because Cuthbert had been taken off of shelves during the pendency of the lawsuit. I think it's really funny that they're debating critical literacy and discussions about copyright and retail PR with the caterpillar cake in jail. The hashtag has proved to be absolutely delightful. So with all of that, we should continue on past. We need to continue on to other things that happened on Twitter. Other things that happened on Twitter. Why? Because we must. We need to talk about the Met real quick because quick bits today is just things that delighted me and made me laugh. So that's what we're talking about. All of you will remember Lawyer Cat, or at least I think you will remember Lawyer Cat. And if you don't, I feel that maybe we should just share that moment with you again to kind of bring everybody up to speed. In the chat, how many of you remember Lawyer Cat? Tell me how many of you remember Lawyer Cat, because we're going to do that. We're going to do that right now. We need it. We need a little Lawyer Cat this morning. All of us, we do. So if you don't remember Lawyer Cat, this happened during Zoom court because lawyers aren't always tech savvy.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings.
The fact that the
You might
eyeballs
want
move still
to,
kills me.
take
We're
a look.
trying to, can you hear me?
For those of you that have never seen Lawyer Cat, this is a real court. The judge released this video of things that happened in law court. We'll talk about the judge in a minute. But the poor attorney going, and his eyeballs, the eyeballs moving is what kills me in this entire thing. You can see this lawyer desperately
Turned on
trying.
in the video settings. You might want to take a
We're
look.
trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It
in the-
is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat. So Lawyer Cat took over social media. And then yesterday I was scrolling through Twitter looking for something else before I got ready to record tomorrow's podcast and came across this story from the LA Times. The person inside the cat suit is Jared Leto. And so when I saw the cat suit and I realized that the theme for the Met is Karl Lagerfeld, and we can talk about that another time because there's a lot to be said. But I realized this is probably Karl Lagerfeld's cat, right? There were others that gave tribute to Karl Lagerfeld's cat. But in my brain, the first thing I thought was, holy fucking shit, that's Lawyer Cat. That's Lawyer Cat in my mind. Lagerfeld's cat, nowhere in a thought because, well, I don't really follow the ins and outs of fashion all that much. Sure don't. Especially not Karl Lagerfeld. But my thoughts were, that is a cat. So then I had to share this. I don't often create memes, but when I need to meme, I needed to meme. I needed this to exist in the world. So I made this exist in the world because it feels like Lawyer Cat. Maybe Chopette is in fact Lawyer Cat. I don't know. Maybe it is. We're not going to judge the cat based on the owner. Maybe Chopette is in fact Lawyer Cat and is also an attorney. But I thought that this was hilarious. So I had to tag Judge Ferguson in it. So I'm sharing this with you for those of you that do not twit because I respect your decision not to twit. So I had to share this. So Judge Ferguson said, Mr. Leto, you seem to have a filter turned on. And then he retweeted it. But then there's more because he starts responding in the thread to other things, which is just hilarious. So all of you who responded, I appreciate it. For rando number 7, the reason I attached the video is so you know. Just read this and my husband asked, what's so funny? Lawyer Cat. Lawyer Cat is always so funny. And then let's see, we got to, there was another comment where somebody said, objection, Your Honor, counsel is purring. And the judge responded to that as well and said that the objection, I think, was sustained. But I don't know why I don't see it. Where did it go? Hold on, maybe I can find it elsewhere. I am not the best at Twitter. So let me see if it's under here. No. There are too many places to look to try to find the response that I'm looking for, and I will find it. For everyone who shared that it's actually Chopette, I appreciate it. I just thought it was funnier being a cat. Or being lawyer cat. Where is Don't worry, I'll find it, chat. I'm looking for the replies tab. I'm going there next. I have to get out of like 700 different places to get to the replies tab. So I'm going there next. I'm going there next. We'll find it. Let's see. It might be under Judge Ferguson because he shared it. Nope, I don't see it. You know what's in my replies tab though is Courtney Love tweeting out about Taylor Swift. So Courtney Love on the 30th, I don't social on the weekends. I did not see this until yesterday. But Courtney Love said, congrats to MX Defying at the Emily D. Baker when Frontline Management owns the artist venues, parking, food, huge percent of all the merch, all concessions at Oakview Group, at Live Nation, at Ticketmaster are all one company. That's illegal in America. Go Swifties. Because Kinder Law shared that I reviewed their court filing over Ticketmaster and then shared a clip of me reviewing their court filing over Ticketmaster. And then Courtney Love retweeted it, well, quote tweeted it and shared it. So we're going to have to swing back to Ticketmaster at some point and talk about this more. But yes, Courtney Love is paying attention to what's going on at Ticketmaster. So hello, we appreciate it because, you know, it seems bad for our artists. And that was hilarious. So when I was scrolling through, I was like, wait, what? What is happening? And then Brian said, will Ticketmaster be able to shake it off? And I said, or they'll settle and just say it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Courtney Love has been very vocal in support of Britney Spears as well, and other artists. It's not just them. So I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I was looking for Judge Ferguson's other reply over here, but let's see. What did Judge Ferguson say? He is, let's see. Turns out Lawyer Cat won a Southwest Air Wanna Get Away contest in 2021. Who knew? Which will establish it's a Wanna Get Away dominance. Will the trendy young powerhouse of Wanna Get Away energy prevail, or will it be the tried and true era of misnaming coworkers, the very people who spell out the name for you in every single email you decide? I don't know. So I love that Judge Ferguson shared this and then shared somebody putting Doja Cat into Lawyer Cat, which is also funny because Doja Cat also came to the Met Gala as a cat. It looks like something out of the Hunger Games. So Judge Ferguson is just living for the sass, and I'm here for it. So that was really, really funny to me yesterday. So if everybody needed a laugh before we talk about much more difficult cases, I am here for the laugh. Truly. Have you heard about the mess with Ticketmaster and the coronation? I heard that there was a mess, but I did not follow it much. I'm not surprised. Just tagged you on that tweet. I love it. I love all of the tweets. Look, the reason I'm on Twitter is one, to communicate with y'all and for the memes. I think it's hilarious. And there are lots of funny internet moments to be had. Of course, there's also lots of other stuff to be had, which I am not a huge fan of. So I am going to continue to lean in to the memes and the lols and lean out of all the vitriol and the fighting and the rest of it. So anything that makes me feel like it's the end of days, I'm out on. Everything else I can get behind. Well, mostly memes. I'm mostly here for the memes. Like, let's be honest. I love a good meme. They're funny. They're the way we communicate modern pop culture, isn't it? All right, we need to move on to Idaho, or should we just talk? No, we're talking pop culture. Let's just talk about Gwyneth Paltrow first, and then we'll have a little bit more time to talk about the Idaho University murders. So let's go. I don't know. Oh gosh, it really is windy. I was like, what is that noise? Wind. Wait, Courtney Love tweeted again saying rock on. I didn't see that. I'll go look. I'll go look for that. Let's talk about Gwyneth Paltrow real quick, and then we will go and talk. Why is technology fighting with me? And then we will go and talk about Idaho, and then we might just get to questions because I'll ask. I'll put up a poll if you guys want to talk about Elizabeth Holmes. For sure. We are going to talk about that in just a minute. First, we are going to talk about Gwyneth. So let's do that first. A lot of you followed along here live during the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. It was a briefer trial than the other ones we've covered, which was a delight. You know, you get in, you get out, you get to a very quick verdict. And the thing that we knew was coming was whether or not there would be a motion for attorney's fees. Owens had talked to the judge about attorney's fees and whether or not this lawsuit was brought in bad faith. And the judge at that time had said, we will need to schedule a date for another hearing, and there will need to be more that happens with regard to the attorney's fees because it will need to be determined whether or not this lawsuit was brought in bad faith. And with that, we're going to talk about the news that came out last night that Gwyneth Paltrow will not be recovering attorney's fees in the ski collision trial. I am not surprised by this in the least. And this is coming from, we're going to start with this reporting from Deadline. So let's see if I can just, nope, that doesn't make it easier. That makes it a little easier. So this is coming from Deadline. Gwyneth Paltrow will not recover attorney's fees in ski collision trial because in the ruling that was filed on Saturday, which is odd to me that it was filed on Saturday, District Court Judge Kent Holmberg confirmed that Paltrow and Terry Sanderson had agreed to drop the matter of Paltrow's attorney's fees. So it seems that Paltrow is like, we're just done. We're just walking away. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not. Does she need the money? I don't know. I don't know if she needs the money. So, I mean, I'm guessing that she doesn't. And that once she won, she's like, look, we could have done this. We're not doing this. And we're just walking away. And hopefully letting everyone go away. Hopefully he won't pursue an appeal on this. Because that would just be very annoying. And he might not. This might be part of him not pursuing an appeal. So Paltrow and Terry Sanderson have agreed to drop the matter of Paltrow's attorney's fees, according to the AP. The final ruling affirmed the jury's unanimous verdict, stating that Sanderson was 100% at fault and the retired optometrist would not appeal the decision. Keep reading, Emily. Keep reading. Keep reading. I'm not going to go after attorney's fees. You're not going to go after an appeal. None of us have to spend any more money. It's just done. So this is actually finality in this case. Oh, speaking of which, did y'all go watch my interview with Gwyneth Paltrow's attorney? It's on the Emily Show podcast. I'm going to interrupt real quick to tell you about the podcast. First of all, YouTube is rolling out the ability to listen to podcasts in the background through the music tab of YouTube, even if you don't have YouTube Premium. So if you want to be able to listen in the background to the podcast episodes, you can do that now on YouTube. Yes, you can also do that on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio or any of the rest of them. But for those of you that love being on YouTube, you can go to podcasts through music. It's not rolled out everywhere yet, but it is coming. And you can listen to it in the background, even if you are not a member of YouTube Premium. So that is my plug for listening to the podcast here on YouTube. There's also a podcasting tab, so you can do that. All right. So, no appeal. Sanderson had sought $300,000 from Shakespeare. No, they keep reporting this wrong. At trial, they were asking for over $3 million. After the verdict in favor of Paltrow, the star took to her Instagram stories saying the following: I feel that acquiescing to a false claim compromised my integrity. I am pleased with the outcome and I appreciate all of the hard work that Judge Holmberg and the jury and thank them for their thoughtfulness in handling this case. Following the verdict, Sanderson told reporters that Paltrow walked up to him and whispered in his ear, I wish you well. I mean, it was whispered to him. She was not like in his ear. You know. In the end, the former optometrist said that the lawsuit wasn't, quote, worth the trouble, adding, I believe she thinks she has the truth. Well, the jury believed that she had the truth. So y'all with the Paltrow case, we're done. We're done. I want to see if the AP has anything in addition to that before we call this one closed. I think we're at a case closed. And I want to see if there is a link to the filing. There's not. I have not seen the filing. These filings are not as easy to get, but the AP had it or grabbed it from court on Saturday, apparently. So the judge said attorneys for Paltrow and Sanderson agreed to drop the matter of the attorney's fees. The final judgment did not detail why the matter of attorney's fees that Paltrow sought was dropped. I'm sure it's because Terry's not appealing, or it's a part of the fact that Terry's not appealing. So y'all, guess what? Guess what? We're done. We're done with Paltrow. Case is closed. Case is closed. And guess what we made? We were ready for this moment, you guys. We were ready. Miguelina made this for us. So guess what? Case closed. We're done. We're absolutely done. We're done with the Paltrow case. It's not going to be appealed. Attorney's fees aren't happening. Done and done. Whoop, whoop. All right. Let's move on to things that are harder to cheer about, shall we? Go listen to the podcast if you haven't. If you're not ready for this case to be done, go listen to the podcast. All right, let me pull up Idaho stuff and we'll go from there. This is a little bit of a longer one, and then it looks like you guys want to talk Elizabeth Holmes. So we're going to talk Idaho, and then we're going to talk Elizabeth Holmes, and then we will get to questions. So for all of you that have questions, we will get to Q&A. I will probably pull some up as we're talking about Idaho, but we'll get to Q&A then. And let's go. All right. We're going to swoop. I covered Idaho a bit last week, and if you haven't caught all the way up in my coverage, you can do that over on my Quick Bits channel. Quick Bits comes out on Mondays and kind of summarizes the stuff I go through in the week. So if you find that you have things to do and we're super busy and weren't cleaning your house to put on 2.5 hours of a stream, you can just go catch up on Quick Bits in like 10 to 15 minutes. And I broke down the fact that in Idaho, one of the things that is going on is that the writ had been denied. So just for a quick summary of what that is, a group of media outlets took a writ up to the Idaho Supreme Court and said, hey, we hate this non-dissemination order. It like infringes with our constitutional rights and all this other stuff. So could you yeet that immediately? Can you say that the judge like can't do that and can't do that non-dissemination order? What the Court of Appeals essentially said was, hey, you have other options. Don't come complaining to us just yet. We're corporate. Like, you need to talk to the manager. So go back down and talk to the court at the local court level. We don't have jurisdiction yet. So the writ is not the thing. So they are not overturning the non-dissemination order. They are sending it back to go talk to the other court if you want to. That's where we find ourselves today, is go talk to the other court. In that, the court filed on April 28th a notice of hearing, and everybody's like, what is this hearing about? The notice of hearing says what the hearing's about. In the notice of hearing from April 28th at 4:49 p.m., it clearly says motion hearing the Gonsalves motion to appeal, amend, and or clarify the amended non-dissemination order. So on May 25th, 2023, they are going to have a hearing at 10 a.m. It will be broadcast later than that. This is a Friday, isn't it? This is Dave Day. I might stream from where I'm staying. Let me take a look at my calendar real quick. I'm like, it'll probably be a short hearing and I will probably cover it quickly. Oh, that's Thursday. Oh, well, that's better. That I can do that. Maybe what I'll do is just bump Quick Bits or bump our live stream back a little bit so that I can cover it during Thursday's live stream. Oh, that's better. That's Thursday. Okay, I'm way less stressed now. That's the day before Dave Day. Yay! Emily, we wouldn't want current cases messing up concert day. But I'll be here, so don't worry about it. I'll be here to do that. So I'll probably, because this will be happening right as I'm supposed to be live, I'll probably bump back our live stream like an hour, because what the court has been doing is allowing the media outlets to record it and then release it after the hearing is concluded. So I will probably bump us back so that we can grab those feeds after the hearing is over, so that I can cover what happens during this hearing. It will probably be pretty short. So this hearing is to deal with a motion that was filed ages ago. So we're going to go and take a look at that real quick so that y'all know what this hearing is for. Yes, Kohberger should be in court for this. No, it's not going to deal with anything substantive to him. It's going to deal with the non-dissemination order and the Gonsalves family's motion with regard to that, which we're going to look at right now. So let us look. Oh, y'all, I see you already talking about what travel Emily has going on for this case. This preliminary hearing is right after I get back from VidCon. So I am going to be scooting back to Tennessee from VidCon to do this preliminary hearing. So it will be a week of this preliminary hearing the week after VidCon. I was going to stay in Los Angeles a little bit longer. I think I'm going to end up going out to VidCon a little sooner to see family instead of staying later, because I can't stay later because this preliminary hearing starts at the end of June. So we have to, I have to be home, or I want to be home to cover it. I don't want to be traveling. I would like to just be home and settled to cover this preliminary hearing. So that, all right, let's go and look at what the Gonsalves family wanted to do. Oh, I want to cover it too, y'all. I want to know exactly what's happening. I want to know exactly what's happening in that. So I can change around my plans just a little bit. It's probably better to see, family before VidCon anyway, because I will be tired. So it will probably work. I'm trying with the middle part. I know they are hard with a widow's peak. I'm trying though. I'm going to go between the two. I'm not yeeting it forever, but with the curls, I love this. I'm very used to. And I also love being able to tuck it behind an ear, and it's much harder with the middle. But what I do like with the middle part is it doesn't get in my face. So I'll be going back and forth between the two. Don't you betwixt the two. Don't you worry. I'm not married to the middle part yet. I'm working on it. All right. This is not the Gonsalves family one. This is the prosecution response. Hold on. This is not what I want. This is what I'm looking at real quick is the February 8th, 2023 Memorandum of Points and Authorities relating to the non-dissemination order. This is coming from the prosecuting office to aid the court in the review of the motion submitted by Mr. Gray to, quote, appeal, amend, or clarify the non-dissemination order. The state provides this Memorandum of Points and Authorities. The state's interest relating to this order is ensuring that the defendant and the state are provided a fair and impartial jury trial, and that the integrity of any conviction is maintained. This is what happened in the appellate court as well. We saw the prosecution and the defense both arguing to keep the non-dissemination order in place. So let me pull up my files real quick and see where that other order is, because now it's missing. I linked the wrong one and now it's missing. And that's just annoying. So let's see. That was from February 2nd. I file these in my filing system by date, so it actually makes it real easy to pull them up. Here we go. That's why I do them by date or by docket number, so it is easy to pull them up. All right. Motion to appeal, amend, or clarify amended non-dissemination order comes now counsel for victim's family, Shannon Gray, and moves the court for an amendment or clarification of the amended non-dissemination order. This is just the where's the rest of this? This is just the notice. Heather, I'm going to cover the Ed Sheeran trial in a quick bets probably tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Thursday. That's my intention. I wanted to cover this because A, there seemed to be some confusion, and B, it had just happened. All right. Where is the rest of this? That's so annoying. Let's see. That's the notice of appeal. That's the notice of appeal. All right. Now I've got to go to the court website and try to find it. I don't know why it didn't pull up. I might not have downloaded the whole thing. So I'm going to go find that. That's from February. It shouldn't be too hard to find. Let's see. There's the motion. Oh, that's why, because it's labeled as motion on the court side and that's only one page. I might have to write to the court and ask. That's the notice of motion. This is now becoming a research stream. Apologies for that. And then these are both one page. So there is no further motion attached, which means I will need to reach out to the court and ask why, because I wanted to read the rest of that. Let's see. Is this the memo in support of the motion? Oh, thank fuck. There it is. We have found it. There's like 4 different links on this thing. All right, here's the rest of it. Memorandum in support of the motion. This is the licensed attorney for victim Kaylee Gonsalves's family. I should swoop. Now that we've found it, Emily finds the motion she's looking for. Because it was linked in a million different ways. The court's current amended non-dissemination order is based on the following referenced case law and legal authorities: ABA standards for criminal justice, fair trial, and public disclosure, Idaho Rule Professional Conduct 3.6 case law. The order states as follows, and we know this. We go through this order. Well, we've gone through this order quite a lot lately. The attorneys for any interested party in this case, including the prosecuting attorney, defense attorney, any attorneys representing a witness. And this is the part that was amended, victim or victim's family, which is why we see the Gonsalves family getting involved here, because their attorneys and the families aren't really allowed to give statements, as well as all the parties to the above entitled action are prohibited from making extrajudicial statements, written or oral, concerning the case, except without additional comment. A retweet, not a quote tweet, if you will. Without additional comment, a quotation from or reference to the official public record in the case. We have seen so many leaks in this case that are not coming from the official public record. And we've seen in that Zoom, not transcript, but memo from a Zoom meeting that had previously been redacted that became unredacted, that this attorney is pushing back saying, look, are these leaks coming from the prosecution? We're being forestalled from speaking, but the prosecution's doing this and this and that. But they're saying the non-dissemination order says you cannot speak about the case without just giving reference to the public record. The order specifically prohibits any statement which a reasonable person would expect to be disseminated by means of public communication that relates to the following: evidence regarding the occurrences of transactions involved in this case, the character, credibility, reputation, or criminal record of a party, victim, witness, the identity of a witness, or the expected testimony of a party, victim, or witness, the performance or results of any examination or test, or the refusal or failure of a person to submit to any examination or test, any opinion as to the merits of the case or the claims or defense of a party, any information a lawyer knows or has or reasonably should know is likely to be inadmissible as evidence in trial that would, if disclosed, create a substantial risk of prejudicing an impartial jury, any information reasonably likely to interfere with the fair trial, me saying fair use, my brain, with a fair trial in this case afforded under the United States and Idaho Constitution, such as the existence of contents of any confession, admission, or statement given by the defendant, the possibility of a plea of guilt, or any opinion as to the defendant's guilt or innocence. Relevant facts. On January 12th. Oh, good. We're going to talk about the Zoom meeting. Great. Tasso, I saw your comment in the chat. That is so kind. This is exactly what we're trying to do. I appreciate that you've put us as sisters and not like, hey, mom, law mom, can you please explain all the pop culture things? Because we have gotten to talk about all the important things today. Side part versus middle part, and whether I should abandon my, Xennial side part for life route. though I do occasionally enjoy the middle part. I had to give it a try. You know, what we think of Lawyer Cat versus Chopette on the red carpet, furries come to the Met Gala, all the rest of it, and now into the harder cases. But it's nice to be able to flex between the heavier topics and the not so heavy topics, because we can't just cover everything that's heavy. Oh yeah, and the importance of caterpillar cake, because it's vitally important. It's vitally important. All right. Back to the Zoom call. On January 12th, 2023, I participated in a Zoom call. I can't wait to hear this lawyer's take on the Zoom call. Oh, this was filed before that Zoom call was unsealed. We might not have a ton in here. With the magistrate judge, Marshall, in which several of the victims and witnesses' attorneys were present, as well as the Latah County Prosecutor's Office and counsel for the defendant. In that Zoom call, I informed the judge that my clients, the surviving family of the late Kaylee Gonzalez, are not parties to the case and therefore are not subject to the order. The judge stated that she mistakenly believed that they were, quote, parties and therefore subject to the order. I don't think the judge said that. I don't think the judge said that. I don't think the judge said she mistakenly believed that. I don't think that's what the judge said. And therefore are not subject to the order. The judge stated that she mistakenly believed that they were parties and therefore subject to the order, and she instructed me to advise them. 3. Like pie. I also informed Judge Marshall that I did not believe I was covered under the initial dissemination order as well, and informed her that after the original dissemination order came out, that I emailed the Latah County Prosecutor's Office for clarification, which the prosecutors aren't the ones you want for clarification. At that point, it's like the state bar, and for the judge's email. They offered no clarification and refused to provide the judge's email address. Yeah, the prosecutors are going to do that. They're absolutely going to do that. They're going to be like, no, call the court and get the court's email. I'm not giving that out. Like, call the court. This is between you and the court. Because what the prosecutor's office doesn't want, and I actually can understand where the prosecutors are coming from. Where the prosecutors are coming from in this is, I don't want the victim's family, who, again, the prosecutors are going to need to communicate with and maintain a relationship with. I don't want their attorney to be like, well, the prosecutor said I could do X, Y, and Z, and then they're running out doing that and then getting in trouble with the court. It is not for the lawyers from the prosecutor's office to inform or guide or give advice to another lawyer on how to interpret the judge's order, other than that is for the state bar. The state bar needs to give guidance on what this order means, because the order is based on the rules of professional conduct, and that's who you need to call, not the court. And then they had that Zoom meeting. Let's go back to the Zoom call. I love hearing about all these calls. The judge got real snappy in the Zoom call with this attorney. This attorney and the judge seemed to get a little which is interesting. I haven't finished my coffee today, so we're going to be doing all the coffee during this stream. I informed the judge that I did not believe I was covered, called the prosecutor's office. Great. During the Zoom call, I informed Judge Marshall that I would be contacting the Idaho State Bar for clarification of her order as well. Well, that's who you should be contacting. Agreed. Emily, keep reading. Since the amended order was issued on January 18th, wait, when was the Zoom call? Oh, I see more clearly now. I didn't catch this before. Do we see what happened here? They had the Zoom call and they were like, look, these are the problems with the non-dissemination order. This happened on January 12th. So on January 18th, the court was like, fine, here's the amended order. Let me make it more clear for you. Oh, that's some sass. That's some sass on that. That is sassy. That is sassy. So the court just amended the order to make sure you were covered. It's like, oh, you need clarification? Here's the clarification. Since the amended order was issued on January 18th, 2023, my clients and I have not made any statements to the media out of fear of being held in contempt of court. It's a reasonable fear. I can't imagine how stifled these families feel. I don't know. This family doesn't seem to feel relieved. Some families might feel relieved in that, look, there's a non-dissemination order. Some families might feel protected by that. Hey, media, you don't camp outside my house. Don't knock on my door. Don't try to find where I work. Don't email me. Don't try to find my cell phone number. Don't call me. Don't contact me. I can't talk to you. So some might feel relieved that the non-dissemination order gives them a shield from the media pestering them. But some might feel overly restricted, especially if they want to process and had been talking about this case before an arrest was made and had been keeping it in the media quite a lot and might feel that that's what they need to do. I'm never going to tell a parent how to properly grieve. So this might feel to them overly restricting when they want to be able to talk about the most horrific thing you can imagine happening in their lives. And so I understand that some families might use it as a shield, but other families, it might feel like an overly restrictive cage. So I appreciate that their lawyers are trying to do that. However, what I think would be worse for a family is to have the surviving roommates have to testify, to go through an extensive trial, and years down the road to have that trial overturned on appeal because of things that were said in the media. That would be awful. So it's hard to explain to families that are grieving sometimes that the balances have to go towards the defendant. And for victims' families and victims of crime, that can be very difficult because they're like, right, but they chose to do whatever. I was living my life, and then this thing happened in my life, and now I feel powerless. And it's awful because the rights guaranteed by the Constitution mostly inure towards the defendant to protect them from being prosecuted by the government and, have their life and liberty taken. So it is a difficult balance. And as a prosecuting attorney, it is a difficult conversation to have about the rights of the defendant because oftentimes victims' families and victims, not all, feel like, right, but what about us? This happened to us. No choice in it, no action in it. It happened. Where is our protection? And that's where you start seeing some states implementing victims' bills of rights, but not nearly enough. So let's continue on. I feel for this family. That is a very long way of me saying I feel for this family, and I see both sides of it and feel the frustration. The prosecutors want to protect their conviction if there is one, and the victims' families want to be able to talk, it seems, because their attorney is in court asking for that. So since the amended order was issued on January 18th, 2023, my clients and I have not made any statements. Neither I nor my clients, the Gonzalez's, have stipulated to the order, and upon receiving it, I emailed and informed the court and requested that the order be changed as it did not accurately reflect an agreement by the parties. The court did not honor my request, and this is why we're here. Argument. Properly construed, the order does not apply to the victims' families in this matter. The only parties to the case are the people and the defendant. Accordingly, as a non-party citizen, the victims' surviving family members are free to speak to the public and the media under the First Amendment of the Constitution. And this is why they're leaning on the First Amendment, because those are the constitutional rights that push back, where we have to balance the constitutional rights. So simply put, their rights to freedom of speech cannot be restricted through judicial prior restraint. They cite a case. Gentle makes clear that only the rights of attorneys who are actively engaged in litigation or in litigating a pending matter can be restricted without satisfying the rigorous prior restraint standards set forth in Nebraska Press Association versus Stewart. Prior restraints are really tricky. Prior restraints are like trying to stop someone from saying something before they say it. And there are very limited circumstances where courts can do that. And we've seen courts fail to extend prior restraints, even to lawyers currently involved in the case. Do you remember when we covered these motions with regard to a certain Twitter lawyer that was involved in the Girardi bankruptcy that was still tweeting about one of the parties? And they went to the court and were like, Erica Girardi's attorney went to the court and was like, Erica is a party in some of this, and this attorney is the other attorney and is talking about this party on Twitter. And the court was like, none of this violates the pretrial publicity. So this attorney has a freedom of speech to go talk about it on Twitter. And there was stuff on Twitter I was like, I mean, I would never, but I've already said I don't like being in the gray zone. Like we're not pushing it. We're staying well the fuck away from it. But even there, the court was like, no, that's not what we're talking about. What we are talking about is these pretrial statements. So even when it comes to pretrial statements, there is room for lawyers to still talk. And the lawyer gets to choose the propriety of doing so and gets to decide at what level they are comfortable doing that until somebody pushed back. But there was numerous motions. Was that over a year ago? It was a while ago, but there were numerous motions. And we went through all of them, and the court sided with the attorney and was like, the attorney has the right to tweet, essentially. So given that that was an attorney active in the case talking about a party, you can see the frustration of the victim's family's attorney saying, we're not a party. We're not witnesses. Come on. So they're saying, accordingly, as a non-party citizen, the victim's surviving family members are free to speak to the public and the media under the First Amendment. As an attorney for one of the victims' families, I am allowed to relay to the media any of the opinions, views, and statements of these family members regarding any part of the case. This is different from offering up my own opinion regarding the facts and issues surrounding the case. It would place an undue burden on the victims' families if the attorney whom they retained to represent their interests was prohibited from serving as their spokesperson, conduit, to the media and other parties in transmitting the victims' families' thoughts and opinions. As an attorney for the victims' families, the victims' family members who are not parties to this action, I too am allowed to comment on the case and other issues surrounding the investigation pursuant to Idaho Rule of Professional Conduct 3.6. I am not an attorney of record involved in this case. I have played no part in the investigation, prosecution, or defense of this case. Neither the state nor defense has shared any information regarding the case. And that's all true. That's all true. And therefore, the only governing rule for public comment regarding the case would be the Rule of Professional Conduct 3.6. The Rule of Professional Conduct 3.6 has similar wording as to the ABA Rules 3.6 and 3.8, and therefore is vague in its applications to attorneys who are representing a party to a case, and even more vague to attorneys like I who are not representing a party to the case. The order is facially overbroad and vague. On its face, it precludes all comments or opinions other than reciting matters of public record, even if there is no possibility, much less substantial probability, of prejudicing the tribunal, and it also remains in effect, even after the jury has been seated and admonished to avoid all press coverage regarding the case. As such, the order is unconstitutionally overbroad. So this is really their argument. We're not going to go, oh, good, we're at the end of it. So this is their argument. Hey, you can't preclude us from talking. Stop it. Stop it. Let's see what the court did with that, and then we'll get to why there's a hearing on May 25th. So let me pull, hopefully I've attached the right one with the court's order with regard to this. This should be the right one. Emily, you're super well prepared. I was chatting with Ian and Rob last night when I was supposed to be doing this. I know y'all forgive me. We needed to talk about important things. If you want to see the important things we talked about, it's on Ian's channel. This is what the court said. A motion to appeal, amend, or clarify amended non-dissemination order and memorandum in support was filed by counsel for the Gonzalez family on February 3rd, 2023. A petition for writ of mandamus or a writ of prohibition was filed with the Idaho Supreme Court on February 6th, 2023. So the attorney filed theirs in court first, and then a Supreme Court was issued. A memorandum of points and authorities relating to the non-dissemination order and affidavit of Latah County Prosecutor William Thompson, Jr. were filed by the state of Idaho on February 8th, 2023. An objection to the motion to appeal was filed by counsel for Kohberger on February 9th. Let me know if you want to go through that objection to the Gonsalves family, motion in court. We went through Kohberger's motion on the writ, but we did not go through the one with this court. On February 17th and February 23rd, the Idaho Supreme Court entered orders in docket number setting respondents and intervenant respondents deadline for submitting briefs to no later than March 3rd and reply brief due 7 days later. The matter has not been set for oral argument at the time and was not set. The pending matter before the Idaho Supreme Court directly relates to the amended non-dissemination order for which counsel for the Gonzalez family seeks to appeal, amend, and clarify. Therefore, after due consideration and with good cause appearing, the court provides the following notice to counsel regarding the scheduling of oral argument on the motion to appeal. Please take notice that oral argument on the motion to appeal, amend, or clarify amended non-dissemination order will be scheduled and notice provided to counsel upon the issuance of the Idaho Supreme Court's decision in the other case. And that is exactly what happened. The Supreme Court said, yeet. And this court said, fine, we will hear oral argument with regard to the non-dissemination order on May 25th. So the court told them in February, I am not going to do anything on this case until the Supreme Court does something. And now that the Supreme Court is done, now we can hear these procedural arguments with regard to the non-dissemination order. So that's what we are going to hear on May 25th. Is the oral argument with regard to these motions. And what I might do is do a podcast episode where I go through some of this case law. Would that help y'all, going through some of the case law and where the law kind of falls on these types of things? Or do you just want to hear what the court has to say? We can do it either way. Let me see if I have Kohberger's response here. What date was that filed on? And we'll just look at it real quick. And then we'll go and talk about Elizabeth Holmes, because it seems like you guys want to. So we'll talk about Elizabeth Holmes real quick. We might need to do a deep dive on that. You guys are like, yes, please. Okay. I don't want to cover something on the podcast that I've already covered here. But I will do like a more legally law kind of a podcast episode on this for next week, where we talk about what the law is, what prior restraints on speech are. It'll be more of a First Amendment episode, but we'll go through that case law. It'll just take a little time to prep, because then I'll go pull the case law, but I'm happy to do it. So legally law. Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about the lawful law. So we're not going to Elizabeth Holmes yet, Miguelina. Just give me a minute. We're going to go look and see if I have Kohberger's objection to this real quick. And we'll just give it a quick glance, and then I will cover that more on the podcast. That was filed February 8th. So I'm looking for it. February 8th memorandum. That's from the prosecutor. Where's the one from the defense? That's not it. Memorandum of points and authorities. That's from the prosecutor, not from Kohberger. Why is this not on the court site? Give me 1 second. Objection. There it is, because it's filed the next day. All right, let's go through Kohberger's objection real quick, and then I will cover this more fulsomely on the podcast. We'll probably say legalese is hard, bro, at least once. To everyone who's gifted memberships, thank you. I see them from Shyness, from Cheryl M, from Sophie S. Thank you. If I missed thanking anyone that gifted memberships, thank you all. Don't worry. We'll do a birthday shout out at the end. I saw a lot of you sharing that your birthdays are today or this week. So that is fantastic. Oh, I'm going to start singing this. Lyndon, what does the law say? Look, I love an old meme just as much as I love a new meme. What does the fox say? The way I was gripped by what does the fox say on bad days at the DA's office, I'm like, today is the day for what does the fox say? And it would just make me giggle. Like, this is why you can't turn off YouTube at work, because people need to laugh. People need to laugh. Life is hard. It sucks without laughter. All right. This is Kohberger's objection to the motion to appeal, amend, or clarify the non-dissemination order. Comes now, Brian C. Kohberger, Brian, through their attorney, argument. The court's order is not violative of Mr. Gray's First Amendment rights. See, they're framing the argument differently. Lynn Costello, my husband's birthday is also Cinco de Mayo. They're framing this differently. So Mr. Gray is not saying that it's just his rights. He's saying that it's also the Gonsalves family's rights. So it's not just him, but all right, potato, potato. In the memorandum of support of motion of appeal or clarification, Mr. Gray contends that because his clients, the Gonsalves family, and I have been told 3 different ways to pronounce their last name, so I hope I am pronouncing it properly, because I've been told 3 different ways to pronounce their name. But the Gonsalves family are classified as non-party citizens. Application of the court's non-dissemination order to him constitutes a prior restraint on free speech, which is a no-fly zone. In support of his position, they cite the fair trial and public disclosure provision of the ABA, the American Bar Association, not the Honky Tonk Bar Association, the American Bar Association Standard for Criminal Justice, as well as the press. I was on the American Bar Association's podcast. It was really lovely. I need to reach out to them and do that again. It was really a lot of fun. I was like, oh, the ABA wants to talk about being a lawyer on the internet. Let's have a conversation about that. I was surprised. And my one family member who is an attorney reached out and was like, I saw you on the American Bar Association website. Look at that. I'm like, I know. And it's not because I'm in trouble. Isn't that great? That was really fun. Okay, continuing on. In support of his position, Mr. Gray cites the fair trial and public disclosure provisions of the ABA Standard of Criminal Justice. There's a lot of rules to lawyering. Just let me tell you that now. There's a lot of rules to lawyering. As well as the precedent established under Shepard versus Maxwell, Nebraska Press Association versus Stewart. It's going to feel like law school. We're going to have a whole First Amendment law school conversation. And then Gentile versus State Bar of Nevada. The issue at hand may be summarized as follows. Whether application of the non-dissemination order to an attorney representing the family of an alleged murder victims constitutes an intolerable prior restraint on free speech. Here's my issue. They're not alleged victims. They're victims. He's an alleged defendant. He has not been convicted of these murders, but I don't think there is any question that these victims were murdered. So I just take issue with calling them alleged murder victims. They are victims. They are murder victims. He is the alleged defendant, and that is probably me being way too picky and hypersensitive. It just rubs me the wrong way, and that I probably am being too picky and sensitive to that. But again, I worked for a very long time as a district attorney. So the side of the aisle I was on with that was the side of the victims, but they aren't alleged victims. They are victims. He is the alleged defendant. We don't know if he did this or not. We can surmise some things by what we've seen so far, but he's not been convicted. But there's no question that these 4 victims were murdered. Their manner of death was homicide. They were all killed at the hands of another. So the way it is said is hard for me. I think they could say representing the family of a victim in this case would have been fine. So with that, that's probably me being hyper picky with these defendants. It's an awkward sentence to say that they're alleged victims for me. The First Amendment prohibits laws, quote, abridging the freedom of speech, while the Sixth Amendment, I guess, guarantees a criminal defendant the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. Occasionally in conflict, where protected pretrial expression threatens the impartiality of a jury, the United States Supreme Court has determined certain parties' First Amendment rights may be limited when exercise of those rights would result in prejudice to the defendant, noting, with his life at stake, it is not requiring too much that the defendant be tried in an atmosphere undisturbed by so huge a wave of public passion. Can somebody name me a case that I've covered lately where a defendant has actually gotten to be tried in an atmosphere undisturbed by so huge a wave of public passion? How do we get there? Because I don't know how we get how we got there. Yes, the jury is not supposed to have a wave of public passion, the jury themselves, but the public absolutely has a wave of public passion in most of these things. But these cases are discussed. People have strong feelings about Brian Kohberger. People had strong feelings about both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. People had strong feelings about Gwyneth Paltrow. The public has feels about most of these cases and opinions, a lot of opinions going into these cases, but those are not necessarily the jurors, but it is hard. And this is a difficult balancing act. As a means of reducing the appearance of prejudicial material and to protect the jury from outside influence, a trial court may proscribe extrajudicial statements by any lawyer, party, witness, or court official. And that is the question. Is this lawyer a lawyer for a party or a witness? Is this a lawyer who is proscribed by this? And the family members of the victims aren't parties or witnesses. They're victims' family members. And that's really where the heart of the question is. But we know that the court already issued this and issued the first non-dissemination order and then modified the non-dissemination order to make it very clear that they were encompassing them. Here's what I think might happen. I think this court is going to uphold their non-dissemination order and say, you can now go appeal it. I've made a final ruling. Now go appeal my ruling. I think that's what is likely to happen here. I don't think the court is going to go, oh, you're right. Let me rework my non-dissemination order. Because of the timing of that Zoom call, the court made a non-dissemination order. There was a Zoom call to clarify. And then the court went, okay, you want it more clear? Let me double down on the fact that you can't talk about this. And I think the court is going to double down again and say, fine, go appeal it then. That appeal is going to take until probably the end of the trial, right? Appeals are slow. They then go into their legal argument of this. And if we're going to do that on a podcast, I'm not going to get into it. Lawyer versus non-lawyer distinction is recognized broadly elsewhere, even in cases where the speaker attorney claims not to be involved with the case in question. They talk about the Fifth Circuit. So we're going to go through the law on this. We're just going to need to. They talk about the rule of professional conduct not being vague. And then their conclusion is that the court should not amend the non-dissemination order. Mr. Gray, the attorney, argues that he will not be offering up his own opinion regarding the facts surrounding the case, but rather only serving as his client's spokesperson conduit to the media and other parties in transmitting the victims' families' thoughts and opinions. Far from mitigating the already tenuous nature of his argument, this signal of intent again places Mr. Gray at odds with Rule 3.6 and Gentile. I think it's Gentile. The court has already exempted Mr. Gray's clients from its order, adequately preserving their First Amendment rights. To the extent this exemption to Mr. Gray would function solely to grant potential prejudicial statements the weight recognized as a danger by the Gentile court. On the subject, the rule distinguishes as already extremely susceptible to prejudice. If Mr. Gray truly intends to only voice his client's thoughts and opinions, then the court's previous exemption has already cured the supposed First Amendment infirmity. So the victims can speak, is what he's saying, and are allowed to. Mr. Gray's clients may voice these thoughts and opinions themselves, as they've clearly been doing. I don't know when they were doing that. They might have been. I just have not seen that since this order came down. The sole effect of maintaining the court's order in present form is the continued operation of a remedial measure that prevents prejudice at its inception. Mr. Gray is bound by the rules of professional conduct, and the First Amendment does not excuse him from that obligation. I think the court's going to double down. Both the prosecution and the defense are asking the court to maintain this non-dissemination order as is. The only person asking to upset the non-dissemination order is the media and this attorney. The only motion being heard on the 25th is the motion with regard to the attorney for the victim's family members. So that's what we're going to hear in May. I will do a whole breakdown on this. We did a quick first look today, and we're going to do one more lawful law, and then we're going to go to, questions. Let me pull up, because you guys asked in the poll to talk about Elizabeth Holmes. I don't see the poll anymore. I don't know if we ended the poll. The poll disappeared for me, but the talk about Elizabeth Holmes was winning. So we're going to go do that real quick. And then if you want a deeper dive into it, let me know, and I will do a deeper dive into what the Ninth Circuit is doing. But for now, we will do an overview of why Elizabeth Holmes is not checking into custody. Hold on, let me try to find this case because it's turned into a research stream. We can all discuss the propriety of a side part versus a middle part for a minute. Well, I try to find this. Let's see. No. Come on, Pacer. Give me the goods. Actually, we're gonna go to, let's see. We're gonna go to Law 360 first and use their breakdown. And then we'll go to the order and then we'll go to Law 360. All right. Let's go to the order. Let's swoop a dupe and talk about it. The poll, yeah, thank you, Miguelina. The poll was well ahead that we wanted to talk about Holmes. So let's reset ourselves to talk about Elizabeth Holmes. We're gonna switch. Let's switch. Oh, we need a stretch break. We're like an hour and a half in. It's like, it's time. It's time. Ugh. All right. Did y'all get up and stretch? Did I tell you that for May, I am trying to do at least an intentional 15-minute walk every day for the entire month? I know. I find myself sitting at my desk far too long during the day. So this is my YouTube's algorithm has started serving me everyone doing like a 30-day walk challenge. And so now I'm doing it. And yes, it is the gummy bear Laneige, and it is so good. It smells so delightful. I ended up getting this. These last forever, but I ended up getting this during the beginning of the panini because I hated not having some lippy on, but this didn't stick to the face masks and it smelled nice. So instead of breathing coffee breath in my mask when I would go out, I could smell this inside of my mask. It reminded me of when we used to do, I don't know if they do the live dissections anymore, but my friends and I used to have I think it was, Chris would have to remind me. I think it was Bed Bath & Beyond, but it could have been Pear from Victoria's Secret. But there were like two different scented lotions that we would put like on our noses when we had to do dissection games, or not dissection games, but dissection. I saw something in the chat, dissection assignments in class so that we didn't smell the formaldehyde. So we would, I don't remember if it was Bed Bath & Beyond or if it was Victoria's Secret, but it was scented hand lotion. It might have been the Pear Berry. I don't remember details well from anything. I do remember well the scented lotion. We're like, okay, if we just put it on our nose and like on our face here, we'll just smell the very scented lotion. Vicks Vapor Rub would have been probably better. It would have been probably better. I don't like the smell of formaldehyde. I didn't when I would have to go to the coroner's office either. All right. Let's swoop and talk about Elizabeth Holmes, shall we? Y'all remember Elizabeth Holmes, the disgraced ex-Theranos CEO, convicted felon, supposed to be turning herself in for court, not turning herself in, not for court, for prison, not turning herself in for prison. Yeah, her. So Elizabeth Holmes was supposed to go to prison at the end of April, and because of an automatic stay from the Ninth Circuit, is not going to prison. Others have tried this too. We most recently saw it with the Chrisleys asking to stay on bail pending appeal, stay out in the conditions they're already at. So when you are already out of custody pending these things, it's a little easier to stay out of custody. If you're in custody, it is much harder to get out of custody pending appeal. So Elizabeth Holmes has appealed in a bunch of different ways. I have not broken down those appeals yet, but I will. A lot of them are on the grounds of, remember the dude that came to her house and was like, I'm so sorry, that guy. A lot of the grounds of appeal relate to him, and I covered those motions ages ago, and then trials happened and we didn't cover the appeal. With Elizabeth Holmes, she was appealing the courts denying her order to stay out on bond pending appeal, and she appealed that order up to the Ninth Circuit. And the Ninth Circuit has an automatic stay while they're pending it. So she is not going into custody. She's like, not today. Not today. So Elizabeth Holmes, by the way, hold on, let me pull up my notes. Elizabeth Holmes was indicted literally a million years ago. It for reals. I did this, speaking of which, I did this in a short over on QuickBits, because I went through the timing of it, because I was like, this has been going on literally forever. She was sentenced in November 2022. She was convicted in January 2022. She was indicted in 2018. So from 2018 to 2023, she has been pending all of this. And we are now in April 2023, and she is still not going to prison, even though she was convicted in January of 2022. So she has been out post-conviction for over a year. Okay. So, with all of that said, defendant Elizabeth Holmes' notice of automatic stay of Bureau of Prisons reporting date. Sonny Balwani, by the way, seems to have turned himself into custody on 4/20. Notice of automatic stay. Please take notice that defendant Elizabeth A. Holmes' Bureau of Prison reporting date of April 27th has been automatically stayed by the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit by operation of Ninth Circuit rules. Ninth Circuit Rule 9-1.2e states, if the appellant is on bail at the time the motion is filed in this court, the bail will remain in effect until the court rules on the motion. The operation of the rule is automatic and provides an appellant who is still released, whether on bond or on his or her own recognizance, with an automatic stay of surrender upon filing in this court of a motion for bail pending appeal. So if you file a motion to the Ninth Circuit with regard to bail, you have to do all the other stuff first, right? You have to file that motion in the you have to file that motion with the lower court, and then the lower court has to deny the motion. So you have to like plan ahead to do this. But I'm sure her attorneys had told her, okay, we're going to file this motion with the lower court. It's going to get denied, and we're going to appeal it to the Ninth Circuit. And the Ninth Circuit is going to have an automatic stay because this is their rule, and they might deny it as well, but you will have more time from your date to turn yourself in. So again, extending the surrender date until the Ninth Circuit rules. And I'll be interested to see if they grant her bond pending appeal. I have my own thoughts and feelings on that. It's like, at some point, you've been convicted, you've been sentenced to over 11 years, go to jail. It's time. It is time now. Go to jail. But no, she is staying out pending appeal. Ms. Holmes filed her motion for release pending appeal in the Ninth Circuit on April 25th. 2 days before her surrender date. She filed it 2 days before her surrender date. This motion and electronic filing communication are attached. Ms. Holmes was on bail at the time the motion was filed. Therefore, that bail automatically remains in effect until the Ninth Circuit rules on the motion. Counsel for Holmes has informed pretrial service officers of the effect of the Ninth Circuit. The counsel called him up and was like, she's not coming to jail yet. Thanks. When she does, I'm sure she'll become best friends with Jen Shaw. They're supposed to be going to the same place. This is the appeal filed. This is the table of contents. Defendant Elizabeth Holmes' conviction on 4 counts of a 12-count indictment resulted from the prejudicial errors that warrant reversal and a new trial. This appeal presents substantial issues, including whether the court abused its discretion in permitting the government to prove its core allegations that Holmes knowingly misrepresented the capabilities of Theranos technology with A, undisclosed and untested expert analysis based on lost data, B, regulatory findings, C, evidence that Theranos voided test results, all of which occurred after the at-issue representations. C2, whether the court violated, issue 2, whether the court violated Holmes's confrontation right by precluding cross-examination on a key witness's credibility, competence, or bias. I'm interested in that argument. 3, whether the court abused its discretion in excluding prior testimony of Holmes's co-defendant, accepting sole responsibility for Theranos' financial model. On April 17th, Holmes filed her appeal brief explaining in detail these errors and their prejudicial effect. Given the weight of these issues, Holmes's motion for release pending appeal merit careful consideration in the district court. Instead, the court's denial of release pending appeal below reflects numerous inexplicable errors. The court referred to Holmes as quote patient fraud convictions, despite the fact that the jury acquitted Holmes on those counts. That is a problem. The court claimed that evidence relating to the performance of Theranos blood testing technology, quote, did not directly pertain to the conduct for which Holmes was convicted, i.e. investor fraud counts, exhibits 1 at 5, despite the indictment's charge that Holmes misrepresented the capabilities of, quote, Theranos proprietary analyzers to investors. The court insisted that Rosendorf's testimony was, quote, not a critical element of the government's case on fraud to Theranos investors, despite relying on Rosendorf's testimony when denying Holmes's motion for judgment of acquittal with respect to those very counts. So this is hey, there's a whole bunch of issues here. And then they go through all of the proceedings. And if you want me to do a deep dive into this, I will. But let's go take a look at the reporting just about the stay that has been issued. And then if you want a deep dive into Holmes's appeal, I will deep dive into Holmes's appeal. But you got to tell me you're going to watch it, because when I do videos on Elizabeth Holmes, y'all are just like, yeah, we're not interested. And then YouTube is like, less of your regular viewers are watching this video. Thumbs down. So if you tell me you want it, I will give it to you. If you do not want it, we will just keep doing the quick bits on this. How far along is she in her pregnancy? She had her second child a few months ago. So, yeah, the panini definitely played in her favor. And then her second pregnancy also kept her out of custody for a while. All right, let's take a look at the reporting from Law 360. Holmes's prison date delayed as Ninth Circuit considers bail. Former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes asked the Ninth Circuit on Tuesday that she remain out of prison pending the outcome of her appeal, challenging her investor fraud conviction and 11-year prison sentence, triggering an automatic stay that suspended her Thursday self-surrender date. Do you think the Chrisleys are pissed? I imagine if I'm the Chrisleys, I'm pissed about this. It's like, come on. Really? We asked for a stay pending appeal and nothing. In a partially redacted 31-page motion, the 39-year-old former Silicon Valley, I'm going to pronounce it both ways, executive told the Ninth Circuit that U.S. District Judge Edward Davila correctly concluded that she has 2 very young children, is not a flight risk or danger to the community, but said the judge also made numerous inexplicable errors in finding that her appeal doesn't raise substantial questions that could warrant a new trial, because they're asking the judge to be like, you made errors. She also claims that the judge in an order referred to Holmes's purported patient fraud convictions when she was acquitted of those. Holmes argued in the motion that her appeal ultimately raises significant issues and legitimate potential legal errors made by the trial judge, including whether he wrongly excluded from trial prior sworn testimony made by her co-defendant. That'll be an interesting question. That will be an interesting question to me. Holmes said the judge also wrongly allowed the prosecution to present certain evidence. We covered that. Let's see. Holmes's appeal automatically stays her self-surrender date, which was set for April 27th. The stay will remain, in effect until the Ninth Circuit rules on her bail motion, which could take some time. Earlier this month, Holmes also asked the appellate court to throw out her conviction, or at least require the district court to recalculate her 11-year prison sentence. In her 136-page opening brief, yoy. What is the Ninth Circuit's limit? In her 136-page opening brief, she argued that the trial judge shouldn't have allowed prosecutors to introduce evidence from events that occurred after any of the representations and issues were made. After numerous delays due to COVID-19 and her first pregnancy, Holmes faced a months-long jury trial that began in September 2021. A jury convicted her on January 3rd, 2022. It is May. Damn it. It's May. It's May 2023, and she is still out of custody because she has the money to continue throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks. After losing a post-trial acquittal bid, Holmes filed 3 motions in September asking the judge for a new trial, with the first highlighting that Rosendorf has showed up unannounced at her home in August to express remorse. I covered that. That was interesting as hell. The judge held a hearing on Rosendorf's conduct, but eventually denied Holmes's new trial motions, finding Rosendorf's assertions during the hearing that he stood by his trial testimony were credible. This is exactly what happened in the Maxwell case with the juror who was like, no, I didn't fail to disclose things in my juror questionnaire. The judge later sentenced Holmes to 11 years and 3 months in prison and hasn't yet decided the government's $900 million restitution demand. $900 million. The government's asking for almost $1 billion in restitution. Earlier this month, the judge also rejected Holmes's request to remain free while she appeals the conviction, concluding that she hasn't shown that her appeal was likely to result in the reversal of her conviction or a new trial. Holmes's counsel and representatives for the government did not immediately respond. The closely watched litigation began in July 2018, nearly 3 years after John Carreyrou, a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, first raised questions. Does John Carreyrou have a Substack? I would subscribe to his Substack. I would. After failing to deliver on promises, well, we know what this was about. And that's it. So if you guys want a deep dive, let me know if we should deep dive Elizabeth Holmes a little bit more. But for now, we're going to get to questions. So yes, I don't know how many millions she has spent on these attorneys, but she is living in San Diego. She has been photographed with her kids. She named her second daughter Invicta, and seems to have not a care in the world. It's like, they'll keep handling it. Other people will keep handling it. It will be fine. And we'll see what the Ninth Circuit rules, but it could be quite a while. You guys are like, quick bits are plenty. That's fine. We will. I see a lot of you saying nope. And that's fine. We will do a quick bits on this when the Ninth Circuit rules, and I'll just keep touching in on it during this. So thank you. Shallow waters only on Holmes. Perfect. You guys are like, back up. What's the name of the kid? Okay, let's go to the pop culture side of this. And yes, I saw a question. I saw a question about whether Elizabeth Holmes had a one-way ticket to Mexico. She did have a one-way ticket to Mexico, and her attorneys were like, no. She bought that long ago, but that did come up in court, and it was an issue. Let's see. Where there were pictures of her out and about in San Diego. But let's see. These are not this is not the reporting I'm looking for. Let's see. Here's an article from the Daily Beast. Let's go with this. Elizabeth Holmes. Where did my article go? Let's just. Elizabeth Holmes's daughter's name may be narcissism at its finest. This is coming from the Daily Beast. The disgraced CEO reportedly named her new baby girl after the Latin word meaning unconquered. As ordered by a San Jose court, disgraced Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes must report to prison in Texas by Thursday. Well, that's not true anymore. Holmes gave birth to her second daughter with Evans only 3 months ago, according to the Daily Mail, which is claiming to have acquired the child's birth certificate. The would-be Silicon Valley scion christened the baby girl Invicta, which is a feminized take on the Latin word meaning unconquered. So not Invictus, Invicta. What's the opposite of remorse? Yeah, that. An investor at Highland Capital Partners who passed on investing in Theranos in 2006 when Holmes couldn't answer his questions, tweeted on Thursday, naming a kid after a poem that political and war prisoners often cite is precarious. There's a poem named Invicta? The demons of denial are raging. Minimum security prison camp with Jen Shaw of Real Housewives sadly won't fix that. Wait, did you link the tweet? I want to go look at the tweet. I'm curious. If the Mail indeed isn't bullshitting for Holmes to have named her own daughter after her personal defiance in the face of her now inevitable imprisonment is about as acute a display of narcissism as one's ever likely to see. The context of Invicta's naming is especially chilling when you consider the fact that in January, prosecutors said they learned Holmes had purchased a one-way ticket to Mexico, and that only after the government raised this unauthorized flight with defense counsel was the trip canceled. Yeah, heavily pregnant, she allegedly tried to flee. That's what the Daily Beast has written. I'm not saying that that's what she was doing. It's interesting. If the certificate is real, Holmes gave birth on February 9th. So I'm not going to get into the rest of it because that gets into mental health and shaming, but the name goes a long way with me to continue to wonder if this was a strategic second pregnancy. Whether the timing was that she really desperately wanted her first child to have a sibling before she went to prison, or whether she was pregnant because she felt that she would probably not be forced to report to prison while pregnant. I mean, plenty of others are forced to do so, but not Elizabeth Holmes. Not Elizabeth Holmes. I will go look at the Invictus poem. That's Sarah. Hold on. I'm trying to grab this. Where did it go? I'm trying to grab your comment. There we go. Invictus is the title of the poem that's famous for the lines, "I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." If they leave her out more, I worry that she might end up being pregnant again. It is so windy here today. We'll see. We'll see. I hate to question people, getting pregnant for strategy, but with Elizabeth Holmes, I'm not going to put it past her. I have questions, and I'll let the Daily Beast voice some of those questions. So let's see if we have the Daily Mail article. Daily Mail has a whole new meaning to me now because I've never been invited to like a Daily Mail party, and it seems like they throw parties on Vanderpump Rules all of the time. And now I'm like, I need to be invited to a Daily Mail party. Like this seems fascinating to me. Question. I want to go. I don't get invited to these things. This is not the kind of stuff Emily gets invited to. All right. Let's see. Elizabeth Holmes seen with fiancé, son, and newborn daughter Invicta ahead of prison sentence. This is coming from the Daily Mail. Fraudster Elizabeth Holmes, who is desperately fighting to stave off her pending prison sentence, well, she did, is living her last days of freedom in a $9 million beachside mansion in San Diego. For all of you that have followed what has happened with Theranos and the people harmed, it really is repulsive. It is off-putting and ill-advised. It really and truly is off-putting and ill-advised. Holmes, 39, and her partner, multimillionaire Billy Evans, have been spending as much time as possible with their children, William II and their newborn daughter, who they have named Invicta. The couple has not announced the birth of Invicta, but DailyMail.com has obtained the birth certificate, which shows she was born at 7:53 a.m. on February 9th at the University of California, San Diego Medical Center. Holmes, the former CEO of bogus biotech company Theranos, has been ordered by a court to report to prison. Well, we know that got yeeted. I'm in read mode. It won't show me. It won't show me the photos. So paparazzi photos of her and her fiance out walking. So I'm glad they blurred out the faces of the kiddos. I appreciate that they did that. It's, I think, appropriate to do so, but they're out strolling around in San Diego with the kiddos. So, she's not working. He's an heir. They just hang out all day, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what that's like, but okay. So Elizabeth Holmes not going to prison anytime soon and is just, I don't know. Is this Elizabeth Holmes just flipping the bird to the court and everybody else? Maybe, but I do feel bad. I do feel bad for the kids because they have no choice who their parents are. and it is going to be difficult. Why is she not under house arrest? Chris Mullen in the chat asked. She is on bond. So she is allowed out of the house. She's allowed to get out and go do things. And then is on bond bail, essentially. Let's go to court. This I agree with. This is why so many of us are upset. Two systems of justice. It feels that way. It really does with this. Though what I will say is the problem here is being able to the affording of appeals attorneys who are going to go through all of these motions is quite high. But this was an automatic stay granted. Anyone else who was on bond, and that's a whole nother conversation about who can afford to be out of custody pending federal cases. That's quite often the case with federal cases, but especially in the fraud kind of categories of crime, the nonviolent crimes, that people are very often already out. So any defendant who was already out on bond, and that's a whole separate conversation, who appealed that would have gotten the same automatic stay. The automatic stay is just a function of the rules. The reason the rules were allowed to function is because she was already out of custody from 2018 till her conviction till now. So with all of that, we should go to questions. So I've got questions. You've got questions. We've got questions. Let's fack around.
Chat, thank you for chatting about some heavy topics today, some light topics today, some Colin and some Cuthbert. I love me some Colin and some Cuthbert. Look, I put a Topo Chico right there. I might be changing this out.
We might be switching this out because I was influenced this weekend. Hold on. Oh, I need to open this. I got a package from Holo Taco that I need to open that has been sitting here. I got influenced this weekend. If you guys want to know why my content in May is going to be slow, I think I'm going to start playing this one and that this switch will stay here, but I think my oldest is probably going to steal this one from me. But I saw Justine and Jenna both with this, and I could not help myself. So I have not unboxed. I am so obsessed with Zelda. I loved Breath of the Wild. I loved playing Zelda as a kid. I still enjoy playing Zelda on our Nintendo Classic, but I am so ready for this. And with the travel I have coming up, I'm just like, I'm going to start replaying Breath of the Wild. But my kid just took it. I am so ready for Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to arrive on release day. People are like, what are you doing for Mother's Day? I'm like, I'm going to have brunch at my house. I'm going to drink mimosas, and I am going to play the Nintendo Switch all day long. That is what I am doing for Mother's Day. So I'm going to open this real quick because I've been wanting to. And I think this is the purple ones, but gosh, this Switch was so pretty, and I didn't think it would be available. And then it was. Nanner said waiting for the Switch Pro. I was waiting for the Switch Pro too, and this caved me. And then my kids are like, Mom, you're so extra. I'm like, I am so extra. I am. And they're like, this is excessive. I'm like, I know it is. I know it's excessive. I'm sorry. This is loud. Glorious. The Holo Taco packaging is just unlike anything I've ever seen. I love the little Holo Taco stickers. All right. This, I think, is the royalty collection. Oh, there's another sticker. Hold on. I need a knife. So then we're going to get to questions, I swear. My cord is stuck in my chair. Damn it. I'm going to roll over my cord. So yes, my kids are like, Mom, what are we getting you for Mother's Day? I'm like, you're going to stop giving me a hard time about buying myself a new Nintendo Switch, and you're going to have brunch with me, is really what it is. Where did my scissors go? I hate it when people move my stuff in my office. I'll tell you what. Yes, me being extra is like, I wanted a new Nintendo Switch. Ha. All right. Let us open. This was sent by a law nerd. I absolutely love it so much. I love the iridescent. I love iridescent everything. Truly. All right. Let's see. This is so exciting. These are the royal boxes. So here is the Hello, It's Me royalty collection. This was done by the Holo Taco faithful. This was a community effort, which I love. The boxes have little crowns on them, so you can put them together and make a little, like, it's just, the attention to detail is everything. Christine is such an incredible YouTuber, but as a brand owner, like, it's 10/10 flawless. I can't wait to do this. Question, did I get my purple Stanley Cup yet? No. My purple Stanley Cup is not here yet. So Holo Taco's nail polish. I absolutely love it. But look at this. This is Royal Crush. It is the most purpliest purple. I'm so excited for this. I am so excited for this. The next nails are going to be this. The purpliest purple ever. So let's see. Holo royalty. I see all hello to all the Holo royalty. This one is, what does it say? Toe beans. What is the color of toe beans? Toe beans. It is just that's kind of the color I'm wearing now, but with a better reflect. That's so pretty. A pink with Holo, with like rainbow Holo reflect. And then let's see. All right. This is Glamethyst. Oh, this is beautiful too. Look at that. I didn't mean to turn this into a Holo Taco unboxing, but I've been wanting to open these and I was moving them to show the Switch. Just all of the purpley purples. Thank you, Holo Royalty, for bringing us the most incredible colors. I love them. They're so good. I cannot wait to play with them. So I have my summer colors. We're just going all purple all summer long. All right. Questions. I already sing toe beans to the tune of Jolene. Toe beans, toe beans, toe beans, toe beans. You know I'm in a mood when. I loved that meme when it memed all over the internet. Also, I did a thing. I am back on TikTok because I repurposed a iPad that doesn't have any of my other stuff on it so that I can use TikTok to share things with y'all and look at the things that you send me without it also being on my phone. Also extra, yes, but it's work. If it wasn't work, I would just not be on it. Ordered wife a new Stanley. She got it 3 days ago. I need to check where mine is. Oh, I wonder if I sent it to I might have sent it to my PO box. all of the Holo Taco, or these Holo Tacos, are iridescent. They all have beautiful Holo reflex. Some of their nail polishes don't. Their nail polish is such high quality. It's just absolutely fantastic. These I did not know. These I did not do. I do not do my own nails. Rhonda, I do not do my own nails, but I take my nail polish to get my nails done. I cannot at all. But I take them with me. But I saw another question about VidCon. Emily, are you going to speak at VidCon? Yes, I am. I am on a panel at VidCon. So I'm excited about that. I have never been to VidCon. So yes, I am going to be on a panel at VidCon. I'm real excited. EDB, I'm coming to Taylor Swift in Nashville on Sunday. My girlfriend and I would gladly be her Uber. That's Cincinnati Pawner. That's very sweet. I don't know if I will be there or not. Enjoy Nashville. If you have time to get dinner at Adele's, that's delicious. Have fun on Broadway. It is going to be very busy. Just plan for lots of time. And I'm sure it is going to be great. Look, Nashville has 3 nights of Taylor Swift. I am sure that it is going to be absolutely an incredible show. They always are. It's a really great stadium to see a show. It's not too big. It's so good. Zelda is the only game I have for my Game Boy Color. It's still going strong after all these years. Zelda's a classic. It's so good. It's just so good. Elena said, I travel to different work sites for work, and having you travel with me adds some routine to my strange schedule. I love that I'm here. I know I haven't been traveling too much right now. It's nice to be, it's nice to have a little bit of a lull in the travel while covering trials. So Let's see. Are people who read victim impact statements considered witnesses? Ems, no, they're not. They are not considered witnesses. Witnesses can't be a spiritual witness, need to be a percipient witness to a fact that they testify to in court. And that can be, it can be someone who's a custodian of records. We saw a lot of that in the Murdaugh case. So it's not that they witnessed the thing that happened, but they have information related to the case that they're testifying to. So let's see. The U.S. National Park Service also has a great Twitter, less sass, but wholesome with lots of memes. We love wholesome memes, and I think I follow them. Susan said, yes, please talk about Elizabeth Holmes. I'm so irritated that she has once again gotten a pass on starting her prison term. It feels like she has just been out of custody for so long. I was here for James. It was so good, the interview with James. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. Rebel Girl Media said, I recently had a job interview where my Zoom video was sideways. I couldn't fix it. I felt so defeated. I ended up getting the job. Yay. I couldn't believe it. Thanks for all you do. The amount of time I have come into a Zoom meeting and tried to unmute and not unmuted, where my team has been like, Emily, your mic. I have started talking while I'm muted on Zoom more than once. Happy birthday, Emily and Dr. B. Thank you. It's why I'm not going to be on social a lot. I know that Hogue is doing a stream on Saturday. I am going to try to be there for part of it. We have some family stuff planned for the birthdays. So I will be doing my best to be over on Hogue's stream on Saturday, and we'll be sharing it. Celebrating my 25th lap around the sun with Emily and Coffee. A lot of you have birthdays today. So happy birthday to everybody who has a birthday today, because
Go shorty. Wait, we need music. Hold on. I forgot to put on my StreamYard music. Darn it. I forgot my StreamYard music. Hold on. Will this work? Go shorty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. This is way too. It's too close for this. Let's try this. No, let's try this one. Go shorty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. Happy birthday to all the birthday friends in the chat. Happy birthday. I don't know if this is our Q&A music today. I think we're going back to our lo-fi that we like.
Let's go back to our lo-fi that we like for our music. I love our StreamYard musical interlude. I forgot. I got into Q&A and I was so damn distracted by my Switch that I forgot to put on our StreamYard music. Look, I love being a StreamYard partner. I will be there also with StreamYard at VidCon. So if you are at VidCon, well, I will have a way to tell you where I'm at. So if you are going to be in the area, I will let you all know that kind of stuff. But I love the musical bed for Q&A. I keep meaning to do it when I hit our FAQ around and I keep forgetting. It will become a part of my routine. I try. Okay. If you come to Great Britain, try the Sainsbury's one. I might have to do a whole freaking caterpillar cake taste test. Cassie said I always get lost in Twitter. I get lost in Twitter too. I don't tweet often. I get lost. Law Lumber said, hi chat, I promise I'm not a cat. Can you really promise that though, Rob? Rob was up late last night, chatting with myself and with Ian. I have seen the Dickie Berg. If anybody wants to know what we are talking about, it is actually an iceberg that looks like a dick in Conception Bay. You can't make it up, but that's on Ian's stream from last night, and you can go find it. Right after I came onto Ian's stream, that was the first thing we talked about. The chat's asking if Rob is supposed to be working. He might be doing both. He says he has deadlines. So, Rob, you might have deadline. Caterpillar cake crawl. I think a cake crawl sounds amazing. Caterpillar cake tier list. Mm-hmm. I think we need to. I mean, I can be very discerning about cake. Did I pronounce Sainsbury's wrong? I try to pronounce it like Caroline Sansbury. And I try to not pronounce her name like Stansberry. So there we are. Emily Outdoors said, if you missed the pumpkin cream cold brew, try my new favorite, cold brew plus vanilla sweet cream cold foam plus 2 pumps. 2 pumps of chai is so wise. Emily, this is brilliant. I love chai. It'll get you close to flavor when out of season. That sounds so good. I do love the vanilla sweet cream cold foam. Have y'all tried the sweet cream cold foam atop of like a pink drink? It is very sweet, but it is delicious. It is absolutely delicious. So if you're looking for a sweet treat at Starbucks, the pink drink with the cold foam is delightful. Just had my checkup with my nephrologist, and my kidneys are healthy. Congratulations. That is amazing. Sitting here, happy, drinking water. Your hair is so pretty today. Thank you. I had to do a whole bunch of stuff on photos and things yesterday. And you'll see the full, I'm like full done for tomorrow's podcast. So you'll get to see that. Side part for the win. This is my favorite so far. It is a mild side part for me, but I missed it. So some days side part, some days mid part. We're gonna play with it. Look, it's a widow's peak. A middle part can be tough. And if the hair is not floofy, sometimes the side part can just look too flat. So Wendy's tweets are epic and snarky. Wendy's does have a great Twitter presence. I love a snarky company when it's appropriate. It's funny because when we talked about the Utah cookie wars, wait, where did the music go? Oh, there it's back. When we talked about the Utah cookie wars, we talked about the email and covered the email where the investors were like, could we maybe just settle this in court and not on social media? But I was kind of living for the social media snark in the cookie wars too. Food court is a place where social media snark is appreciative. I don't know how I feel when it's like the parties involved, but when you get like a Ethan Klein or like a BitBoy Crypto, when you get a social media personality who's also involved in litigation, they're going to talk about it on Twitter. Ethan didn't talk about stuff as much on Twitter after it got started, but it slowed down, and then BitBoy Crypto seems to have stopped as well. So let's see. Jillian said, I have a tattoo of Navi from Oricana of Time, and everyone thinks it's a snitch from Harry Potter. What would you suggest as a second Zelda tattoo? I don't know what I would suggest as a Zelda tattoo. I think the chat might be better than me. Where is my master sword? I have a master sword back there somewhere. It lights up and everything, but I think it's down in that one. I need to shift things around so we can see them a little bit better, but I think it's down in that one. I mean, it could just be, I don't know, the Tricore. I don't know. I would have, again, I can't visualize things, so I would need a bunch of pictures. But the Triforce is kind of that's what the chat is like. The Triforce is a good one. Everyone thinks my necklace is a Triforce, and I'm always here for it because it does look like a triangle. So, the Sika symbol is good too. Look, there are a lot of different things. You guys are saying the music is too loud. I thought I had it gained down, but I'm sorry if it's too loud. Let me make sure it's turned down. I might just have it turned down in my ears. Is that better, chat? You let me know. I thought I had gained it. Oh, because I needed to do it in app. I'm still learning. Better? Hopefully that's better. It was meant to be a light bed of music. So the chat has lots of suggestions, Jillian. I hope that works. Let us know what you choose and tag us. Happy birthday. Love the channel. Thank you. And I appreciate it. Thank you all for the super chats. There's lots of birthday. I mean, there's always lots of birthdays in the chat, but it's birthday month. Music is gone now. It shouldn't be gone. It should just be a light bed of music. Let's see. If the music's too loud, I get that it can be distracting. I'd suggest a sword and or shield as a second LOZ tattoo. I love that, Jordan. So with all of that, chat, I keep saying with all of that today, I don't mean to. I have got to bounce because I have a bunch of stuff I need to finish up for you. There is going to be a lot of stuff coming. So if you are not part of Law Nerd Alert, now is the time so you can stay in the loop of what's coming. We have a lot going on in the month of May. We're going to have some schedule changes in the month of May. The next live trial or the next live hearing is going to be the week-long Idaho University King Road case. There's a full week of preliminary hearing at the end of June. There will be a lot running up to it, but we're going to have some down weeks as I have travel and family summer stuff coming up. The end of the school year looms. So we're going to have we're going to have some changes. I shouldn't say a lot. We're going to have some schedule changes. So if you want to make sure that you are always in the loop, Law Nerd Alert is the place to go. And we will have, especially when I'm traveling, some things that are just for members only. And I think there's going to be some topics that I just do members only that I've been asked to cover quite a lot. So we will see. We will see what to do. Or we will see where we go with those kinds of things. Because I get a lot of questions for topics that don't always fit into the live streams. Some of those topics are going to go into members only as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being Law Nerds. Tomorrow, there's a new Emily Show podcast. Thursday, another live stream. We're going to be talking more about Murdaugh. And then Friday, I am off to celebrate birthdays, and then I will be back next week. We will see what we cover next week. I'm intending to keep catching up on cases that I've been covering, but something will happen between now and then. It always does. So I can't guarantee what we're going to be doing for the next week, but I will see you tomorrow for the podcast back here. That goes live at 11 with Premiere. If you haven't joined a Premiere, I'm in the live chat with you, even though it's pre-recorded, and we can do it. If you want to listen on your way to work, the podcast is live for you at like 4:44 a.m. Central Standard Time. So you can find that when you get up in the morning. And with all of that, it is time to say goodbye. I appreciate you. I will see you soon. Law Nerds, you're the best. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.
You can find all the Law Nerd goodies at lawnerdshop.com. Connect with me on social media at the Emily D. Baker. And don't forget to check out my podcasts, The Emily Show, and the new podcast, Quick Bits, summarizing everything I talk about on my Tuesday and Thursday live streams. You know, when you only have time for just the quick bits.